In this video, I will share my experience on how to achieve a very low first fruit cluster on tomato plants. Last season, viewers asked, why is your fruit cluster so close to the ground, the first cluster with fruits, while ours is much higher up? This question is especially relevant when growing tall tomato varieties in low-height greenhouses. In that case, the height at which each cluster forms is very important for increasing the yield. Friends, it all starts now, during the seedling stage. When this question was asked, when the plant was already mature, there was nothing I could do to help. But I promised to return to this topic when the time was right. So, we have come back to this question. A little bit of theory. When the cotyledons appear, that is, when the tomato seedlings sprout, it is necessary to provide them with sufficient lighting. For the first 2 weeks, we provide our seedlings with round-the-clock supplemental lighting. Some viewers say that this is wrong, that you shouldn't illuminate your seedlings so intensively. Friends, we've been doing it this way for many years, and as for the harvest we get from growing our seedlings like this, we'll see at the end of the season. So, round-the-clock lighting, supplemental lighting for the emerging seedlings during the first 2 weeks. Then, we reduce the intensity of the lighting to a 15 to 16-hour daylight period. That is, we turn the lights on early in the morning and turn them off after 15 hours. Friends, do you need to provide additional lighting during the day? It's very easy to determine if you turn on the supplemental lighting during the day and you don't visually notice that it gets brighter, then you don't need to add extra light. But if you turn it on and see that your seedlings look, well, illuminated, then the lighting should be kept on during the day as well. You shouldn't turn it off. Many people think that a lack of lighting only leads to negative consequences in the form of the plant stretching out more. That is, the plant becomes thin and elongated, but that's not entirely true. In addition to these harmful effects, a lack of light also disrupts the programming for the plant's future development. Everything that will happen to the plant later on is set during the seedling stage. Friends, normally after the 5th to 7th leaf in determinate tomatoes, after the 7th to 9th leaf in tall early ripening varieties, and after the 9th to 12th leaf in tall late ripening varieties, the formation of the first flower cluster should occur. You won't be able to see it yet, and you won't even see those leaves, but the plant is already forming it, even when there are only cotyledons. But the plant knows exactly when and how many leaves will appear, and when the first flower cluster will emerge. After that, the plant already knows how many more leaves will grow before the second cluster appears, and so on. So, when there is not enough light, the plant sets a program so that after the 7th to 9th leaf, instead of forming the first flower cluster, it will form another leaf, and it will keep producing leaves until the plant gets enough light. Over time, the room will get brighter. Eventually, someone will move the seedlings to a greenhouse, and the sun will get stronger with each passing day. After all, spring is getting closer and closer. That moment will come. But how many leaves will be formed instead of the first flower cluster appearing at the right time depends on how quickly your plant gets enough light. And so, the formation of each extra leaf instead of a flower cluster not only increases the distance from the ground to the point where the first flower cluster appears, but also delays the harvest time. For every single extra leaf that develops, add approximately 5 or 6 additional days, you'll ultimately get your harvest that much later in the season. Consequently, if 2 leaves were to be formed instead of a flower cluster at some particular point in the growth cycle, you then need to add a total of 10 to 12 extra days for a significantly later harvest. That's the math, friends. That's why it's extremely important to provide enough lighting at the seedling stage. We use standard conventional fluorescent lamps for the purpose of lighting in our facility. The young seedlings turn out exceptionally well. The vibrant flower clusters form quite early, and consequently, we get a fairly early and abundant harvest. I'll finish this video here. I hope those who were interested will draw their own conclusions if they're making the mistake of not providing enough light for their seedlings. Thank you for your attention. All the best to you. Goodbye. See you next time.